Hello and welcome to UBC Future Global Leaders information session today, January 20th, 2021. We have a lot to cover tonight, and so we have an agenda to help guide that discussion. In a moment, I'll make our introductions and give you some tips on how to participate in our session tonight. I'll talk about some of our announcements for 2021, and then hand it over to our instructors, who will, Mitchell will speak to our course, Your Guide to Getting into a Canadian University, and Christina to our academic writing toolkit for ESL, EAL learners. And then I will come back and speak a little bit about our online academic courses, also a little bit on Canvas, which is UBC's learning platform. At that stage, we'll move over to Q&A to answer your question, closing at approximately 8 p.m. My name is Aidan Cleary and I'm coordinator with UBC Future Global Leaders. And joining me tonight is Mitchell Gray, senior instructor with the University Preparation Program. And so Mitchell works on the UBC Extended Learning University Preparation team, developing curricula that helps students navigate the university application process and effectively communicate their skills, passions, and accomplishments. Christina Peralejo is an instructor at UBC English Language Institute. Christina has over 20 years experience teaching English as an additional language in countries that include Japan, Canada, and the Philippines. Her roles and responsibilities have included academic language coaching, teacher training, and again, developing curricula. I'm so glad that they're here with me tonight. And now for those tips. We have muted your audio and you can elect to turn on or off your video, should you choose. We just have some tips for viewing. At the top of your screen, you will see view options. If you want to choose side by side, this will permit you to see the presentation and the speaker tonight. And of course, at any time, you can switch between speaker view and gallery view, whatever is your preference. I'm now going to give you instructions on how to participate in our Q&A. It was in our emails earlier, but once again, I can give the instructions here. Again, we're not using chat, and instead I invite you to open up a new browser. If you have a second device, it's sometimes a little bit easier with a second device. If you have a phone or an iPad, please open a new browser and type slido.com, slido.com. You will be asked for an event code, and that event code today is FGL Jan20, FGLJAN20. So again, slido.com, and event code is FGLJAN20. And for anyone who's unable to join us tonight, or if you have to leave early, we are recording the lecture, and it will be available on our YouTube very soon. And now for those announcements. And yes, unfortunately, we must start with the bad news. Unfortunately, due to the continued uncertainty regarding COVID-19, UBC has decided that remote instruction will remain in place for the summer term. And so for that reason, UBC Future Global Leaders as a team, we've made a decision to cancel on-campus courses for 2021. But the good news is that we have a line of online courses that we look forward to sharing with you tonight. Another announcement is that this year we're delighted to be working with our colleagues in UBC Sauder School of Business. And again, for 2021, we have a bursary program called the UBC President Bursary Program, which I can share some details with you now. Full details are on our website, but I'm delighted to announce that we will have 20 bursaries once again this year available for students to access full tuition for one 3-week UBC Future Global Leader summer online course of your choice. Applications to this open January 26th. I've outlined some eligibility. Again, it's all on the website, but very briefly, you must be a grade 11 student attending a high school in British Columbia, have an overall average of 80% or higher, and same 80% or higher in your grade 11 English or equivalent. You must be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. Live in a lower income household. And again, more details of that, the criteria around that income household and number of dependents against the certain different incomes is laid out in the application form. Your parents or caregivers did not attend a university or graduate from university or college. And finally, Indigenous students are especially encouraged to apply. And now moving over to our online courses. We have 2 courses to prepare students for universities, and then we have a number of courses to give students an idea of what those topics are like in universities covered in our online academic courses. So we will start with our first university preparatory course called Your Guide to Getting into a Canadian University. So I guess you could potentially, your students would possibly ask, what would my experience be as a student in this course? Well, it is a 3-week intensive where we expect students to spend 8 to 10 hours online. Flexibility is the key word here. Lots and lots of flexibility in that you do not have to be online at a specific time. There are no live online classes in this course. You can log in anytime from anywhere. There's the opportunity to communicate one-on-one with your instructor on a discussion board, and lots of opportunity to interact with your classmates from around the world. There will be quizzes and skill building exercises to help your learning, and Mitchell will discuss this in more detail in a moment. Your instructor will review and offer feedback on 3 writing assignments. And finally, receive a UBC Future Global Leaders certificate of completion. So as a student, what can I expect to learn? Well, 1, you will gain skills to create a convincing and memorable university application, maybe a task that you may be facing pretty soon. 2nd, you will conduct your own personal university and program research and become aware of the different universities' timelines and their deadlines. So if you were to ask yourself today, as a student, what skills and accomplishments have I achieved in high school that will assist my university application? So I say to you, if that question seems overwhelming or you're really not quite sure how to approach that, this is a course that would help you uncover these important personal achievements and the ability to present them effectively. And finally, receive instructor support and feedback on your writing so that you feel confident with your university application statements. And again, the requirements for this course are for our international students, IELTS 6.0. You must be between the ages of 15 to 18, but it really is recommended for students in grade 11 or the early months of grade 12. And certainly, given the times that we're in right now, it's a good course for students who've possibly taken a gap year as a recent high school graduate. And so, Mitchell, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Here I am. Thank you, Aideen, very much. Thank you, everybody, for being here. It's really great to be with you this evening. Aideen gave a great summary of the course, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more from my perspective as the instructor, and I also created the course, Your Guide to Getting into a Canadian University. I've got 2 slides that I want to share with you. You should be seeing a slide right now with 8 bubbles on it. I'm going to talk to you about that one, and then there's one other one after that where I'll talk to you a little bit about the curriculum. But I just want to tell you 8 reasons that I am especially proud of the course that we've created. There's many reasons, but I've selected the top 8 that I want to share with you tonight. The first is that if you join us and take this online course, Your Guide to Getting into a Canadian University, you'll be working with a really experienced instructor. That's me. I've been doing this work helping students of various ages getting into university, either at undergrad or graduate level, for more than 13 years now, and I've created all my own courses and materials, and we've been really happy with the student response. In fact, in July, we had almost 100 students take, or almost 90 students take take this course, and the feedback we got was really outstanding. So you'll be working with an experienced instructor. Depending on how many students enroll in the course, there may be a course assistant and writing feedback assistants, all of whom I have worked with before and have carefully selected because of their excellence. The second point I want to share with you is the dynamic and entertaining material of the course. Most of the course is written material. And I just want to highlight that it's not like a lecture. In fact, it's actually fun. It's super informative, sometimes even a little bit funny. But more than that, it's very dynamic in the sense of it keeps you thinking. It asks you questions. It keeps you thinking about yourself and learning not only how to create amazing applications, but other skills. And I'll come back to that in a few minutes. But the course is designed to be dynamic and entertaining. It's also highly interactive. You have the chance to talk with all the other students, of course, and you can communicate with the instructor, that's me, and possibly, depending on enrollment, course assistants, but you can talk with me. You can contact me with a question or a comment anytime, day or night, and I will respond as soon as possible. My goal is to respond always within 48 hours, but I almost always am faster than that. So it's highly interactive. You never have to hesitate. You can just ask all the questions you can possibly think of. You will also, very importantly, receive personalized feedback on 3 writing assignments, which is really, really valuable because it will help you. They're all designed to be perfectly helpful for creating amazing applications, and you'll get writing feedback on your personal individual writing. Along the way in the course, we do focus on applications and getting into choosing and researching programs and then getting into those programs. You're also going to learn other skills that will be with you for the rest of your life in terms of communication and how to convince people, how to get people excited about you and your goals and your interests. And those skills will be extremely valuable in other contexts outside of academic, such as job interviews and things like that. In the course, there's a few podcast elements. It's not a huge part of the course, but we put them in there just to have some fun for you. So for most of the modules, there are 9 modules in the course. And for most of the modules, there is a short piece of audio, so you can listen to those when you're on the bus or exercising or wherever you want. The next thing I want to mention is that we had some unexpected feedback the first time we ran the course, which was that a number of students told me and our team how much they learned about themselves and how happy they were about that. Now, I knew that they would clarify their goals for academic, but they seemed, based on their comments, to really learn valuable things about themselves through the course as they analyzed their goals and interests in the academic setting. And I thought that was really valuable because not a lot of people take the time to do that, but when we do, it's always valuable. And finally, for my 8 points here, I wanted just to let you know that we have a virtual coffee shop in the course, which is just a place that students can go meet each other, talk about their cultures or whatever is on their mind. Music, movies, novels. It's just a place for you as students to get to know each other. Okay, let's move on to the next slide, please, Aideen. Now, the course has 9 modules, 3 modules per week. And there is a lot of material in this course. It is around 9 to 10 hours or 8 to 10 hours that you will spend on the course each week. If you're super engaged, you could spend more, but 8 to 10 is a good average to consider. So there is a lot of time. There's a lot of things we pack into the course. It's manageable. but there is a lot to do. So not all of it is on this slide, that's for sure. But I wanted to highlight the kind of most important parts of the weeks. In week 1, you'll get to learn about the course, but very quickly we're going to jump into the important parts about understanding your applications and your timelines, when you have to do certain things, and other practical advice like that. And after that, we're moving to the idea of convincing an admissions committee. Great communication is always about making someone believe you, making someone listen to you and want to listen more to you. And that's called convincing. And we dive into some theory about how do we really convince people. Now, the course is very, very practical. It's not a lot of theory, but I do provide a very solid research-based foundation of communication ideas that will be beneficial to you in your applications and elsewhere. In the second week, you're going to work on researching programs and then choosing the programs. We'll give you resources to do that, things to ask yourself. For example, a huge list of different factors that students think about when they're choosing programs, but also a shorter list that takes that kind of overwhelming list and shortens it into the most important things that really matter. And there's a lot of materials like that to help you with researching and choosing a program, a Canadian university program. And then we're going to jump right into the writing parts of the applications. Now, not all universities require extra writing, like what we sometimes call a personal statement or supplementary application material. Not all do, but many do. And for all students going into UBC undergraduate, you must write what's called the UBC personal profile. And these documents are really useful when you do them well, and also really challenging. So we spent a lot of time analyzing how to create amazing personal statements, including in the final week, how to write them using great communication strategies, then how to fix them up and polish them and make them as perfect and professional as possible. Look at an example along the way. And that is also one of the 3 assignments that you will get personal feedback on from the instructor, is an assignment strongly related to personal statements. Actually, all 3 assignments are quite strongly related to creating these great personal statements. I should say, because I've mentioned 3 assignments, that there are also many other things in the course. There are quizzes in every module and other non-submitted but very important exercises in each module. So there's a lot going on in this course. Students in the past have really loved it, and it's only getting better. And I hope I get the chance to meet you and help you work toward your academic goals. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mitchell. Yeah, I loved hearing about how the students learned about themselves. And I remember in a meeting with one of the students that supported you, one of the TAs that supported you, Mitchell, commenting on how engaged the students were with each other and talking about sharing, their interest in books and movies and their plans, etc. It was lovely to hear. It was really lovely to hear that.
It is really great, especially in these COVID times. It's lovely to be able to reach out to people in different ways.
Yeah, and just find that space that you're comfortable in and connect with somebody who you want to share and feel comfortable talking to, and as I said, in unusual space in these unusual times. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much again, Mitchell. We'll move on to the second course, which is Academic Writing Toolkit for ESL, EAL learners. And again, question like, what would my experience be as a student in this particular course? So there's lots of similarities. The first one being that, again, it's a 3-week intensive with 8 to 10 hours per week logged into UBC's secure, interactive, and their online learning system. Same flexibility. There is no need to be online. There's no live classes, so you can log in anytime, anywhere. So if you're a high school student that's got a job, or you've got other hobbies or other things that are keeping you very busy, you can make this work for you. This course has a maximum of 25 students, permitting access, lots of access to the instructor. Once again, the opportunity to communicate one-on-one with the instructor on a discussion board and with fellow students. Receive detailed feedback on your writing from your instructor, and some really interesting e-learning resources I know that Christina is using. She's going to speak to in a little bit, and completing activities and quizzes in this course, again, that Christina will cover in a moment. Same with this course, you will receive a UBC Future Global Leaders certificate of completion, and I will hand it over to you, Christina. Thank you.
Thank you, Aideen. Hello, everyone, and I'm really excited to be here and to be able to talk to you about this course. I'm Christina Paralejo. I'm one of the instructors in this course. And just to give you a little bit of backstory about the course, a few years ago, some colleagues and I had the opportunity to offer support to students who were enrolled in UBC whose first language was not English. And let me tell you that writing was a major focus for many of them across all disciplines. It didn't matter if they were studying in the sciences or the arts, and they would often tell us, we don't exactly know what it means to write academically. And as you probably know, writing academically is so different from everyday writing, even for people whose first language is English. Like, we all have to learn and to gain those skills to be able to write successfully for an academic audience. And this is what this course is aiming to teach you. So on the screen, you can see some of the skills that we are going to cover, such as understanding basically what academic writing is. And that, I think, already is a really big skill to gain, that we're writing for a specific audience. And because of that, we've got to change our tone and write in an academic manner. And then we dive into vocabulary. What kind of words do we need to write successfully, and how do they differ from everyday vocabulary? Which words should we focus on? And also, what are some strategies that we can use to continue to learn those words and build our vocabulary as we go through our courses and develop skills in our major? And another critical aspect which forms the basis of good writing is looking at things from the sentence level and talking about how to effectively write in English by developing really sophisticated sentences, and in order to keep your writing engaging and accurate and precise. And we break these down and step by step go over how we can formulate great sentences. And finally, one of the most critical writing skills that you're going to encounter again and again in the university classroom is about how to use your own words when writing, especially paraphrasing and summarizing. And if you do not have those two skills under your belt, you are going to have some difficulty in your classes. And those are two skills that really require a lot of practice. So right now is a perfect time to gain that practice and to also gain those skills before you actually start university. So again, we suggest that you have a minimum IELTS score of 6, and we do suggest that that is the minimum to be able to comprehend the content of the course, and also to be able to interact with the information with ease. We don't require documentation, but we strongly suggest that this is the best to have a really great experience in this course. Aideen, could you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So the schedule of the course, I've told you a little bit about it, but I'll tell you a little bit more. We cover the course introduction, and we start by looking at what is academic writing. We check out lots of examples, we break them down, we evaluate them in terms of audience, purpose, and tone. And also in week 1, we also start in with academic vocabulary and cover those essential words that we need to be able to write academically and how we can best learn them. As mentioned before, we have a regular schedule, and we suggest that you stick to it. But again, you've got that flexibility to decide when you interact with the content and accomplish those tasks, even though we ask you to stick to a specific schedule. From there, we move on to the second week, and we're ready to dive into sentences, and we'll look at the types of sentences, how to vary them when writing, because that is a really great skill, not to use the same sentences again and again. And some people think academic writing can be boring, and actually that is not true. Really fantastic academic writers are going to vary their sentences and use really interesting academic sentences and vocabulary to engage their audience. And in the final week, you will focus on writing in your own words, starting with the theme of plagiarism and how to avoid it through using paraphrase and summary. And there is a final assignment where you get to put all of these skills you've gained to the test and put them all together. And just to let you know, when I first taught this course in the summer, it was really fantastic to be able to see people's development from the very first writing assignment to this final writing assignment. And for me, that was really exciting, just to see that there was that big leap and that people really understood the content of the course. Aideen, could we go to the next slide, please? Thank you very much. Well, a lot of people think that online learning is going to be dull or boring, and that you're going to miss interactions with your peers, but Mitchell already said a little bit about interactivity in the course, and this course really as well has been designed to have interactivity foremost in mind. So there's lots of resources that are going to help to keep you on track. This is not like reading a textbook and writing. After reading that information, there are videos, there are podcasts, and there are many interactive tools that have been created in-house specifically with you in mind. And we also utilize discussion forums in order for interaction to occur. But besides that, there are some really fun class bulletin boards where you get to share your ideas together. And we have some fun activities such as like a web quest, which is like a virtual scavenger hunt, which takes place online. And throughout it all, you've got lots of opportunities to interact with your instructors and your peers regularly. One example of that, which I really like, are the virtual office hours, really similar to the office hours that you will actually have when you are university students, where students can come and meet their professors face to face and get answers in real time. And this is the same thing. We've got 2 opportunities set up during the course where you can come and talk to me or the instructor and get your answers covered. And I get to meet you as well. So that's really great. And you get that one-on-one help that you need so that you can build those skills, and you're going to have a lot of success in the future. And that's it. I'm really looking forward to having the opportunity to work with you all. So thank you very much. And
thank you, Christina. Actually, Christina, your name came up today in a meeting where we were meeting with the instructional designers for this summer online academic courses, and the designers mentioned one of the tools that use Paddle, which they mentioned as a really great interactive tool for the students. So yeah, so thanks for exposing us to that one, Christina.
No worries. Thanks, Aideen.
Thank you. And now for our summer academic courses. So with our summer online academic courses, the Future Global Leaders, students will be able to explore their academic interests in first year level university courses, which for 2021 include business, engineering, and psychology. And here I have more to be announced very soon, but I actually do have notification of later today. I've got notification of a couple more, which I'll be able to share with you in a moment. Once again, these courses are 3-week intensive courses, totaling between 40 to 45 hours of learning. How do those 45 hours break down? Well, on Monday to Friday, there are online classes for 2 hours per day. So these are different to the classes and courses that, that Mitchell and Christina discussed earlier. These courses do have live sessions Monday to Friday. They are interactive and engaging virtual class with a UBC professor or instructor. And then there's expectation that students are spending between 4 to 5 hours per week reading, researching, and participating in engaging and collaborative discussion forums. Students use the very same online learning system as Christina and Mitchell both mentioned, but it's also important for you to know it's also the same system that our UBC undergraduate students are using. So if you do become a UBC student, you'll be well used to the online platform. Although, fingers crossed, we will be back face-to-face on campus soon. There's the opportunity to meet current UBC students as they guide you through your studies, and then you can, as students, hear their experience as a university student, because they work and support our instructors and professors in these courses. There will also be an opportunity to interact with classmates from around the world in a virtual student lounge. So because this will be the first year to offer online academic, I can't quite give you a breakdown of what the demographics will be, but what I can tell you is that our demographics for our on-campus program is typically 30% Canadian, 30% from China, and then 60% from many other places, and that's typically the US, South America, and other parts of Asia and Europe. So we have five topics with 5 courses, and the first one being business and economics. So I mentioned that we're working with UBC Sauder this year. So there will be offering an introduction to business foundations. I'm not going to read the course description because you will find it all on our website. Second topic, engineering and technology. We have a course called Introduction to Engineering. I think it's important here that this is a course that's all about the profession of engineering and the disciplines, and it covers chemical, civil, computer, and mechanical engineering, environmental. So the breadth of engineering available to students. Health and life sciences, we're offering psychology. That's a course that's very popular with our students. So we're delighted to be able to offer it online this year. Again, full course description online. The 2 that are not on our website yet, but will be very soon, the topic History, Law and Politics, the course name is Crime and Society, Contemporary Topics. And then finally, another Health and Life Sciences, Biology, History, and the Future of Cancer. Before I go on to UBC Canvas, I just want to remind everybody of our Q&A platform in Slido. If just in case we've had some latecomers for our Q&A, we're not using chat, we're using Slido. So if you open a new browser on your desktop or whatever device you're using, or a second device, please type slido.com, slido.com, and you'll be asked for an event code, and that event code today is FGLJAN20. So FGLJAN20. Please head over there if you have any questions first, because we'll be heading over there soon. So with Canvas, I have a little bit of information on that. It is, again, the online learning platform that all UBC students use. It can be accessed through a variety of internet browsers, such as Google Chrome, Mozilla, Firefox, and Safari. It uses a simple sign-in process, and students will be able to access all course materials with ease. And this particular slide, as you can see, is pretty intuitive. This is a teacher view, and the student view is actually even more simple to navigate. Some highlights on Canvas. Communication. Students will be able to communicate easily with their instructors, TAs, and students. Collaboration with discussion boards, and there possibly will be other platforms that students will be using. Students will have the ability to collaborate, share ideas, and learn from each other. In addition, it will also allow the students to build a community with their peers and instructors and TAs in an online environment. Consistency. What I mean by here is that all modules, assignments, and quizzes can be found in the one place, and that also makes it accessible. So, for instance, as students move through the course, they'll be able to reference past material with ease. So modules open up weekly. So for instance, when you're in week 2, if you need to refer back to week 1, the materials will be there in that module and very easy to access. So 2021 dates and fees. And I believe, yeah, before I move on, Mitchell referenced earlier to the 80 plus students that that participated in, and as I said, he had, and both Christina with their students had quite the conversation back and forth with them, and had great feedback from them. This was one testimonial that we pulled from a student who said that she'd no idea what she wanted to do in university or where to go, but this course helped her identify courses and complete her personal statement. She was entering grade 12 this past September, where she's feeling less stressed about the application process and excited for her future. So I thought that would be something to share. So the dates, fees, and requirements. So the requirements for our international students, we recommend a score of 6.0 or equivalent. We do not look for proof, so you do not need to send in any proof of that, but we really do encourage you to be honest with yourself, because participation and engagement is really key to participating in these courses. Students aged 15 to 18 and completed grade 10 or equivalent, and again also suitable for students who are possibly have taken a gap year. So your guide and academic writing toolkit have the very same dates. There is an upcoming course starting on February the 1st for 3 weeks to the 21st. The summer dates are July 5th to the 25th, that's session 1, and session 2 is July 26th to August 15th. The fees for both these courses are $700. And then the various online academic courses that I spoke about a moment ago, the same summer dates, sessions, 2 sessions, 5th to 25th, 26th July, August 15th, and the fee for these courses are $850. This was something else I thought might be good to share with you. Again, the same students that Mitchell referenced earlier, we carried out a survey, exit survey, and we had 100 plus students between the 2 courses, Christina's course and Mitchell's course, and we had an 87 response rate from the 100 plus students, which was pretty good. We're very pleased with that. And over 90% of them agreed with them. We asked them a bunch of questions, but I just picked out 4 top questions that I thought would be of interest to you. And over 90% of them agreed that 1, the course materials, instructors, and the TAs helped them learn useful strategies and ideas relevant to the topic. They agreed that the online content was well presented and well organized. 3, after the course, they feel better prepared for the university application than they did before. And most important of all, 90% of them agreed that they would recommend these courses to others. So we're very pleased about that, hence Mitchell's pride in these courses, his course. And now we'll move over to Slido to take your questions. And again, slido.com, FGLJAN20. And bear with me for one moment as I change my screen. Go to full screen, sorry. That's better. Okay. So we have a question that I can answer quite easily. Student is asking, when is our next Your Guide course? And the next Your Guide course is February the 1st to the 25th, I think. Second question, which students do you think, I'm just going to mark that off as, oh, thank you. Which students do you think would most benefit from the Canadian University class?
Thank you for your question. For your guide to getting into Canadian University, it will be of great benefit to any student who is applying for an undergraduate degree in Canada, anywhere in Canada. any kind of undergraduate degree. Much of the material will be helpful if you're applying in other countries as well, but it is really designed to focus on getting into Canadian universities. So if you're a student who thinks you have a good idea about how to create an application, but want to be sure and want to make sure it's as excellent as possible, the course is for you. Or if you're a student who's feeling quite overwhelmed by the process of applications and wants to take the mystery out of it and know that you're doing the right things and thinking about the right things and asking yourself the right questions, the course is also for you. It's a very engaging course for people who were born speaking English, and if your English is as strong as Aideen mentioned, but English is not, your English is not perfect, it's also very applicable to you. The course is really designed for a range of language levels and also for Canadian students and international students. I've worked with hundreds or thousands of both students from Canada and around the world. I've worked with students from dozens of different countries, and I have good insights into what students are excited about, what they're curious about, what they're nervous about. And this course is for really a broad range of students. Thank you for your question.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I answered it. If not, send a follow-up and I'll be happy to say more.
Thanks, Mitchell.
Welcome.
I can answer this next question. Is there a best time to register for the summer program? So obviously for our on-campus program, there is a best time because students are considering, many of our international students are considering flights and accommodation on campus, etc. But for our online courses, registration is open now, and there's no best time. You choose that best time for you, and that's that question. And that seems to be the questions that we have for now. I will wait a few moments in case people have more questions, because we do still have people online, so they may be thinking about any questions. And Christina or Mitchell, is there something that, maybe a question that you are hoping to hear tonight that might help students, or something
Christina,
to share?
do you want to start?
I think we usually get questions about the writing toolkit as to, and also with regards to your guide course, about if they can be taken simultaneously. That's usually a question that we often get, and in response to that, we always say that yes, definitely you can take them simultaneously, but just be aware of the time commitment for each course, even though they would be very complementary to each other. Mitchell, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, thank you for that. That's really great. I think students often ask, I mean, the Academic Writing Toolkit is the writing intensive course. Students sometimes ask if their writing will be improved by taking the Your Guide course. And it is not as intensive in writing as Christina's course. But if your main focus is on the applications, but you are interested in some enhancement of your writing, our course does enhance writing skills as well, because that's part of writing successful applications, is improving your writing skills. So it does have the mixture of that skill also. And as I mentioned earlier, students kind of ask sometimes, what are the other benefits of the course? And I think one of them is just simply getting to know yourself better and understand your goals and how committed you are to your goals. And those are some of the things that come up as we think about researching and selecting university programs in the course. That's it.
Thank you.
For now.
Thank you, Mitchell. Yeah, that's great. So I'm going to take this next question, and I'm kind of excited about this next question because it's like, will there be any time differences if I don't reside in Canada for the summer course? And they've added to it, I mean, for the online part of the summer. So I have to say, personally, and for the FGL, the Future Global Leader team, you know, we feel like if ever there's going to be a silver lining from this awful time that we're all dealing with worldwide with the pandemic, we're very hopeful that there are some silver linings. And for us professionally on the UBC Future Global Leaders team, is that it has given us the time to stop and build our courses online. We had been asked to do that for quite some time. We wanted to do it, but because we just did not have the capacity, because it took quite a lot of effort to build a program for our summer on campus that the capacity wasn't there to build online. But now we can. So with our online courses this summer, in particular the academic courses, they're offered 2 different times. One will be in the morning, which sort of covers our North American students, and in that other time zone. And then we have an evening offering as well, which we hope will capture our Asian students. So I hope that answered that question. Mitchell or Christina, anything to add to that?
Not me. I think that's great.
I was just going to say that it really doesn't matter about time differences, and that's really the beauty of working online, is in that you really can work at your own pace, and whenever you get to submit your documents, you know, the instructors here will be ready for that as well. So truly the time differences matter less and less the more that we are online. So I think it's great.
And again, that's the difference between Mitchell's course and Christina's course, the university preparation courses, is that there are no live classes. Lots of our students we know are working, they've got other activities going on in their life, makes them very, very busy. With these courses, you can make these courses work for you, your schedule. The difference, however, with the online academic courses, you are expected to be in class in the 2 hours Monday to Friday. If you sign up for the morning or the afternoon sessions, they're 2 different times. So moving on for that, and Christina, this is the next question. Are we able to participate in more than one course at a time? And you touched on that a moment ago. I know somebody just came into the room, maybe it was that person, and you absolutely are able to participate in more than one course at the same time. We just be careful. Be careful with your time, look at your other schoolwork, your other commitments, and consider, you know, what we mentioned about the amount of hours that are expected that you're expected to be online for each course. Yeah. Okay. That's the questions. Yeah, that's always a question that comes in different kind of asked in different ways. And I guess most of our high school students are used to attending live classes. So the idea of, you know, the asynchronous classes is a little bit different, possibly. Just wait a few moments. If anybody is out there wondering what this slido.com, this is our Q&A platform tonight. Simply open a new tab on your browser, type in slido.com, and this code FGL Jan 20. Don't worry about uppercase, lowercase. FGL Jan 20 is the event code. So we'll just give it 7:49. We'll just give it a couple of minutes, Christina and Mitchell, to see if a couple of other questions come in.
Sounds great.
They're a quiet bunch.
Hopefully we did a good job of answering most of the questions before they were asked.
Yeah, I know yeah, and it is always helpful to hear other people's questions as well. I find, right, it can be one of the most interesting aspects of these sessions. I know Mitchell and Christina as well. In the past, we had the recruitment. Our colleagues from UBC would offer sessions with. Oh, it was very nice. Thank you. Thank you. You're very, very welcome. The UBC, our colleagues from UBC come and talk to our students with other UBC undergrad students about applying to UBC. So while we may not necessarily have that in the next upcoming session, we do have a colleague who will be available to do that with students. So I just want anyone who's interested in the two courses, Christina Mitchell's, the university preparation courses, that we do have a colleague who, her name is Denise Loretano, and she's held leadership positions at institutions large and small, both in Canada and the US, for over 30 years. But for much of her career, she's overseen undergrad and graduate admissions, including reviewing multiple kinds of applications using a variety of rubrics. So if you're going through the course and you're still want, a little bit more information, another point of view, Denise is available to meet with groups of students to discuss this. Oh, looks like yeah, we're covering all the questions. Thank you so much for letting us know, and we're not talking to dead air. Blue dead air. Okay, and I know we moved through our presentations on time as well, so we had our little how many minutes we were covering it, and we kept it that time, so we did well there. So I think it's 7:52. I think I will close it down, but what I will do before I do that, I will go back, just bear with me once again, sorry, as I go back to my last slide. So I will say goodbye and thank you. And Mitchell and Christina, I'll let you guys say goodbye and thank you as well before I give more information.
Christina, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. And I really hope that we get to work together in the future. So thanks for attending.
Yes, thank you, everybody, for your interest. We appreciate it and had great fun chatting with you tonight. So thank you. Yeah,
and so certainly from myself, thank you so much for being here and listening to our story about UBC Future Global Leaders. Should you want to learn more about the program, if there's a question you think about after the session when we close down, here's our phone number, 604-822-1444, and our website, which also there's inquiry inbox that you can message us as well. We're happy to respond in whatever way works for you. And I think that's it for this evening. So I'll wish you all good night, and obviously stay safe, everybody, and hope that we see you online in one of our courses very soon in February or in the summer. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.